Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank you all for tuning in. My name's Tyler. Watching a game between Bact and MBL 40C today. M playing as Persians here in red. Bact on the other side in orange, also playing as Persians. So we're going to see a Persians war between these players, not a Civ that you see all the time, so we'll get a little bit of a change of pace. I haven't seen this match, so we'll be discovering it together. But first, let's look at the maps. We can see that on Bact's side here, he has his berries to the side. His gold is kind of out here in front, a little bit in no man's land. Going to be hard for him to defend that, potentially. He does have a deer patch here. His boar's on the front. His stone is off to the side, which should not be too hard to protect, and a secondary stone in the back. Gold is going to be the problem here for Bact by the looks of it. We'll see how he deals with that, defending that resource. M, on the other side, he's got his berries very close to his TC, stone up on top of this hill, secondary gold on the hill, primary gold on the hill. He does have some structure to work with here, so we might see him, I would expect to see him wall this map. It looks like plenty of structure for him, and we know he likes to wall. So we'll expect to see walls out of M, and probably not a whole lot of walling from Bact. This area looks like it'd be really hard to protect via walls. But we'll see how it goes as it plays out. I will fast forward a little bit to get us through the Dark Age. Not usually a huge amount of action here, but there is 4 on wood over here for M. So potentially a drush from him. If we look on Bact's side, he's luring in his boar. He's got 3 on wood, so we don't expect a drush from Bact Chiofro. These two guys are really fun to watch. I've watched a couple of the games that they played. This is February 18th are these games. They also played again on the 20th. Bact is just so good. He's just so good. M is really up and coming. He's a great player. He's getting better every time I watch him. And hopefully this match doesn't disappoint us. But we'll see how it goes as it moves forward. M dropping a house here, 2 villagers so he doesn't get housed. And let's see how the scouting looks since we have a moment of a lull. We can see M here has scouted mostly his own map. He's probably looking to wall that in since he's really finding all of the structure of his map. I don't think he's still looking for sheep. Yeah, well, he is looking for sheep. He just said it. And it looks like Bact actually found those sheep. He potentially stole one of them. The second is here. Bact saying sorry. So presumably he stole the sheep. I don't know. Bact is doing a much more aggressive scouting. He's coming forward. He's looking at M's map, which is wise on his part since he needs to have a little bit more of an aggressive stance, one would think. If he's going to be able to defend this gold, he's going to need an army, and he might want to keep the pressure on M. Luring in the second boar is Bact. M's still searching around for sheep. Little does he know that Bact has already found those sheep. One of them is here. The other, I would presume, maybe trailed its way back. No, this trail is too wide to be that of a sheep. So, not sure what happened to the second sheep here. That will remain a mystery for now. Maybe I'll go back on the replay and leave it in the comments. Where is the mystery sheep? Bact still having 3 sheep left, potentially. So is M. So potentially he stole it and ate it up already. But nonetheless, continue to move to the Dark Age. M is finally coming forward to scout. He's going to eventually, when his scout starts moving again, he's going to start discovering his opponent's resources. This villager is under pressure without loom from Bact's scout, and it looks like he probably won't get that villager in time, but he certainly will delay this barracks coming up. If we look at M, he has not grabbed extra gold, so we don't know if the drush is going to come from him or not. But good job from Bact. Anytime you can slow your opponent down, you are doing yourself a favor. And you see M here now with 5th villager coming over to build a house, probably going to wood. 6 villagers on berries, which is interesting, especially since makes sense since he lost a few sheep. And there he is complaining in the chat. He doesn't like his old friend Bact just because he stole a couple of his sheep. Although that sheep, I really wouldn't call that a steal. He's just leaving it there. And we can hear a little more attacking going on. Scout versus Scout. M is going to win this since Bact's Scout took a few hits from M's Villager. And we can see MBL going up on Loom and probably clicking up to the Feudal Age after that on 24 population. So M on 24 population, sort of an in-between of a Feudal Pressure and a Fast Castle sort of build. He's going to come back here with 10 gold with this Villager. He's going to have 3 Militia potentially with that late Dark Age rush, the click-up drush, I guess you could call it. So we will see a click-up drush from him, a couple Villagers transition to gold, potentially going to see some archers out of him, or maybe just going up, but he really hasn't walled enough to Fast Castle build this. So we're going to see some units out of M would be my guess. If we look at the scouting, M still really hasn't come forward enough to find any of Bact's resources. I mean, he knows where his stone is, but that's not really going to help him for Feudal Pressure. We can see Bact is now up to Feudal Age. If we look at his side of the map, we can see that he's dropping a stable. We'll probably see scouts out of him. 10 villagers over here on wood, very standard. Finishing chewing up his sheep. 1 farmer. So it looks like we're going to see scouts and potentially more farmers when this sheep is done being eaten. He's also going to defend with a spear. Very normal. He does have quite a bit of time before M gets up to Feudal. We should have a few scouts on the field before that time comes. If we look at what Bact has seen on M's map, he's seen this hideous front gold, and he's found M's berries and his stone. One would expect that he's going to come and put pressure on this gold with those early scouts. But we will wait and see until that time comes. Hear a little bit of noise. Looks like M is in there after his Feudal Age click up, just hitting a few of these villagers a couple of times. He's actually going to lose that scout if he doesn't micro soon, and he does lose his scout to Bact. So M now having a pretty big disadvantage. He's got scouts on the way. He has lost his own scouts, so he can't even see where the pressure is going to come from. However, he does have a drush on the field, and maybe he can make some use of that now. It seems like it's going to be far too late to catch Bact by surprise, but but M is just going to hang out in the middle there, and maybe he's going to wait for these scouts to potentially come through this corridor. The problem is that they're going the other way. So he's going to have to defend those scouts, and he's going to have to get another spear out, and let's see if he's building one at the moment. You can see that M is, he is building more spears, and he's got them rallied to this wood line, which seems like a nice, safe place to protect. M's protected his gold here with palisades, so that should be fine. Obviously, the farmers are safe and sound. The problem is going to be here, and will this spearman get over there in time to save these poor villagers' lives? And if we do this in slow motion, it's just, Bact doesn't go in. Interesting. Bact sort of poking and prodding and not going in for the villagers right off the bat. He would have had to fight uphill, but there wasn't a spear there for that moment. I thought he could have got a villager there. He is going to pressure the berries. Those villagers are going to push him back. One of them on fairly low HP, but they do have loom. And Bact is more focused on keeping this scout alive, this one low HP scout, than he is on really picking a villager off at the moment, by the looks of it. I suppose this makes sense since he has a lead in the score and in the military. MBL here is going to go men-at-arms, and he's going to keep the pressure on his opponent. Bact has added a few more scouts to his arsenal, and it looks like Bact is very content just to look at M's map, scout around, 4 scouts here, 2 more, so 6 scouts total for Bact, and he's going to use them in defense for the moment. So hard to see that orange color in Age of Empires. Maybe there's a dark orange patch I don't know about. That spear is here. He's going to be engaged in a moment. Bact has done a nice little wall off here to push everything toward his TC. The problem is the weakness would be this wood line, and he's back in time to defend that. These scouts are going to clean this action up. The villagers are going to come in and help. Why not? They're just as good as a man-at-arms. Actually, they're not coming in to help. They're coming in to mine. Now that the offensive of M is cleaned up, Bact can start mining and have no problems whatsoever moving up to Castle Age. M sort of, losing that offensive. He didn't get a whole lot out of it. I guess the one really nice thing that he was able to do is keep Bact on the defensive. Those scouts, 6 scouts, could have really been wreaking havoc all through the feudal age, and at least M delayed them by a few minutes, making them retreat back home to kill his men-at-arms. So all in all, not a terrible play from M. If he gets to castle first, he's going to reap the benefits of basically staving off the pressure for the moment. Just knocking down those walls around these mining villagers, just in time for Bact to come in and put pressure on them. Those scouts would have done some damage, but these spears were there in time. Looks like 1, 2, 3 spears on the field for M, and he's going to be just fine pushing any small groups of scouts away. Those scouts do not have bloodlines. Interestingly, though, Bact is going to come forward with 3 spears of his own and a skirmisher, and he's going to start putting some pressure on. I suppose 2 spears and 2 skirmishers, rather. We can see those very wimpy spears basically playing with each other, if you could call it fighting. Bact doing a good job here. If he can take those spears out, he's obviously going to be able to wreak havoc with his scouts. And we can see that M's villagers are involved in the fight. M's clicked up to Castle Age, but now he's got to fight off the feudal pressure in order to get there in one piece. So, we have Bact here, putting some pressure on with these scouts. Can he pick a villager off? He should be able to get one out of that group. For the moment, he does not. This villager on very low HP. Both of the skirmishers throwing javelins at her, but she's dodging. Oh, Bact is maybe not going to get this villager after all of that. So very close to grabbing that villager, but he doesn't. We switch to M's point of view. I suppose we can watch his villager's health. We can see another villager on very low HP. He's going to run back. These villagers still here in the fight. Everybody's still in one piece. We've only seen scouts and spears going down as far as I can count. We look at the villager count. Of course, Bact is up on M, and that's because he's still in the feudal age. M's clicked up. He can't build villagers at the moment. M here really trying to push with spears and villagers and keep this thing going until he gets to castle. Let's see if he pulls this villager out soon, getting a little lower on HP. So for the moment, those villagers in a group are strong enough to push back Bact's army. Another of the scouts down, and really M's doing a great job defending here. He's really pushed back this small group, and he's really bought himself enough time to hit castle. I suppose we'll see some knights, and we'll see him clean up this pressure. He did lose a villager there. He could lose more if he doesn't get that knight out in time to clean up this action. But really, one villager is not enough for Bact in this situation. M did a great job basically keeping himself in one piece. And if this TC drops down, I'd have to say he's a shoo-in for potentially winning this game. You never know what's going to happen, but he did defend very beautifully, and he's going to have a huge advantage being at Castle Age a few minutes before Bact. We'll see another knight come out, potentially 2 or 3, and then head forward for some raiding. And I suppose we'll just wait a moment for that to happen. Meanwhile, on Bact's side, he has fully palisaded up his side, except for a few holes here. A little more action back here that we just missed. Oh, here we go. We have one more scout trying to do some harassment here. He will be able to get in back here if he wants. He's trying to pick off the low HP villagers, but he can't find them at the moment. So that scout is probably not going to do anything major in the long run. Where's that 1 HP villager? Here she is over here. He just has to find this 1 HP villager, get one little hit in. That will help Bact out a lot. Another TC coming down from M. Those 2 knights coming forward to put some pressure on. They are going to be met here by a couple of archers and a couple of spears, and probably not do a whole lot since they are now walled out. These villagers will jump into the TC and start firing arrows, but those knights may make it into the back. Of course they will. They're going to make it into the back and maybe grab a villager off of this wood line. Meanwhile, that last scout of Bact's going down, and his spears are here in time. The spearmen are going to push these knights around, and hopefully M can get some disruption and continue to really, potentially take over this game. He's on 1 TC. Bact is on 1 TC at the moment, putting a second up. He is going to defend these knights. Doesn't look like they're going to get a villager. M is on 3 TCs, well, 2 and 1 more coming. He had that advantage up to castle time, so he has a few more castle age units on the field. But it looks like Bact is going to defend that early castle aggression from a few knights very well. So Bact is actually in perfectly good shape. He is going to eventually start falling behind in the villager count, but for the moment it's 44 to 44. Let's see what M's coming forward with here. 2 more knights. Those are not going to do anything at the moment. There's just too much here. He is going to see this TC going down. Maybe he can delay it for a moment. Bact here actually needs to turn these knights back around or get some camels involved, or else he's going to lose a villager. It looks like M is going to grab this villager right here. So there's 1 villager down and a little bit of a delay on that 3rd TC coming up for Bact. And we'll see if that can have an impact on the game in the long run. Bact having plenty of army here to push M back. So he does have an advantage in that sense. We'll see camels versus knights here. We all know how camels versus knights is going to turn out. Interestingly, Bact is going to take this fight for the moment. He's +1 armor. These camels have no buffs. And he's actually going to clean up those camels. So 4 camels taken down by 5 knights. And a few more knights on the way back from M, but a few more knights and a camel coming forward for Bact. And this is looking like it could get interesting right about now. M is going to try to block this area off with a couple of houses from raiding. He's got some villagers here who are low on HP, but none of them are going to get picked off for the moment. Villager count in MBL's favor by 5 now, since he's had his 3 TCs up much longer. These knights coming in to try to raid this town center. Presumably these villagers will jump in there very quickly. I don't think we'll see a pick there. These knights in the back are the big problem. Nothing there to defend. 4 knights and a camel. They're going to grab at least a few villagers from this wood line. We're seeing 1 down there. This villager is surely going to die. That's 2. This poor lady is not going to make it either. And it looks like Bact is going to be able to equalize the villager count. So now 60 to 58, still in M's favor, but Bact really getting great pressure on. Bact is also sending in a bunch of units here, trying to pressure this town center. So lots of villagers not working, a couple of villagers dead for M. He still has a slight advantage of 62. He's up by 1 villager, but you can see he has 4 idols at the moment. A little bit of chaos injected into his economy, and Bact is here, and he's very comfortably taken this gold away. And he's just going to stand around and, not allow M to mine that gold. M will be able to mine this gold, of course, since his TC is so close to it. And for the moment, Bact is really pulling away. He's got about a 600-point lead, 550-point lead at the moment. A lot more army on the field. You can see his pop is 81. He's actually up on villagers now by 4. And he's starting to potentially run away with this game. We can see M is just now getting bloodlines, which seems a little bit late in the game for that particular upgrade. And that's why Bact has been really pushing M's cavalry away. We can see a full engagement here, but M does not yet have bloodlines. He's going to have to push back from this and get some arrow fire involved from his TC. Not quite, because Bact is too smart to get in close. We see a monastery going up for M, so he can defend all of these knights. And for the moment, it looks like Bact is going to take his time. He's definitely got the advantage here by score lead. He's got the advantage here by villager population. You can see M having 5 idols. That's just due to harassment. If you're getting harassed by all sorts of your opponent's army, it's really hard for you to micro your economy. We can see the skeletons of villagers over here, a couple of dead scouts and knights, and Bact really in a very good position at this point. We can see M does steal Bact's camel there, which ran off on its own, got really aggressive by himself. We did not see M close up this area as I suspected he would, so that is still open. If we look at upgrades here, we can see that M is +1 attack on his camels, whereas Bact is +1 defense. Heavy plow coming from M at the moment. He's going to get that upgrade because he's doing so much farming, and that seems to make sense to me. We can see Bact with really what looks like a huge advantage. I mean, he's got a 4th TC down now. He has nothing being harassed. He's got his side closed in, at least with palisades. He has a monastery up as well, using a few monks to heal up those knights, potentially going to send those out and start grabbing relics. And it looks like Bact has this one really well nailed down. 1, 2, 3 TCs still for M. The villager count 87 to 81. And we expect Bact's his lead in villager count to increase as he is on an extra TC. So Bact taking some stone now, potentially going to put a castle down and take over a little bit more map control. If we look on M's side, we look for stone miners. He's also mining stone, 5 villagers on stone, dropping his university down. Bact has just dropped his over here. Where is it? There it is. So we'll see some more technologies coming from these guys. And Bact, having pulled back for a second and healed up, is going to now come forward with an even larger group. Mostly knights, a couple of camels in there for good measure, and he's going to have 3 monks to back up this pressure. 1 monk here from M is probably, or 2 monks here from M are probably going to grab a couple of converts. The problem is that they are going to die. I did not see whether they got a conversion there, but those monks are going to go down. Bact's monks are going to be here in just a moment. You can see Bact's army actually getting pretty thinned out by this group. M going straight camels at the moment, which is a very nice counter, of course, to the knight pressure coming in. Bact's going to come in and grab this villager. He's going to delay M's market. M, of course, wanting to balance out his economy due to all of this harassment. We can see these 3 monks here going to push away M's camels for the moment. But M really doing a great job pushing back that offensive from Bact. We can see the villager count has now equalized at 96. I presume that's because Bact has slowed down villager production. There's no reason to go with too many vills, but both guys actually on 98 now. So interesting, M was able to catch up on villagers even though he's down 1 TC, and he's able to defend Bact's offensive. So it looks like for the moment we are in a bit of a stalemate. A large army of camels versus a large army of knights, or a relatively large army of knights. 5 monks on the field for Bact, and just a couple of monks here for M. We can see M is clicked up to Imperial. He's got armor on the way, husbandry, and light cavalry upgrade. We're going to see lots more cavalry from M. And we can see camels versus knights here, and conversions happening all around. Hard to really see what's going on with a red versus orange game. My apologies for that. I didn't choose the colors. But we can see here if we highlight Bact's army that he's really getting pushed back here. He's actually in danger of losing quite a bit if these monks get pressured. But they will not. M is going to stay home. He's going to stay safe. Drop a couple of archery ranges down. We can see that Bact is going up on armor. He's also going up to pikemen to defend against all that cavalry. Bact is also clicked up to Imperial. He's a couple of minutes behind, or a minute behind. And we'll see how this one plays out. Apparently, my instincts have been wrong twice. I thought M was going to have a huge advantage getting to castle first. Bact was able to defend it. I thought Bact was going to have a huge advantage having such a much larger castle army, but M was able to defend it. So here we are in the middle of what is really a stalemate. We can see M starting to get some light cavalry on the field, probably going to try to send those in for some raids while he defends his base with the camels. Still 5 villagers on stone for M. Bact having plenty of stone to drop a castle. We'll see where that castle falls in a moment. Presumably M is going to have similar amounts of stone. He does. He's about 100 away from building a castle of his own. And we're hearing lots of military units being produced by M. Getting to Imperial Age first. Getting chemistry. Looks like we're going to see some... looks like we're going to see... I don't want to make any more assumptions. I've been wrong every single time. We are going to see a castle here, or a try to put down a castle here from Bact. I wonder if M can defend this by pulling back these light cavalry, or even just using these light cavalry. For the moment, those camels are heavily engaged, and we're going to see Bact potentially win not only this battle, but also get his castle down. So that's going to be a huge advantage for him. Meanwhile, back in Bact's economy, we do see M getting some free villager picks here. Both players on 113 villagers. M is going to, or Bact is going to drop quite a few of those. He is going to get this castle down. It's sort of in no man's land as far as a little too far to put any pressure on any of M's resources, but it's going to be a really nice base of operations for Bachiofro coming forward. We can see Bact with a huge army here, pulling out to about a 300-point lead. He's getting some harassment in. M's going to come down with a defensive castle here. More villagers building, but they started so much later. This castle's going to come down. We're going to see Trebs out of there, and we're going to see pressure on M. And that light cavalry raiding still going on in the back here, doing a pretty good job of slowing down Bact's economy. Even though he's not getting a ton of villagers, he is idling a lot of villagers at the moment. Bact has 27 idols. Unfortunately, the pressure on M right now is causing him to have a lot of idols as well. This castle has come up. It's going to make quick work of those camels, and I'm starting to hear it. The one thing we expect from the Persians, hand cannons. The hand cannon is going to be a pretty good defensive weapon here for M. Along with this castle, he's going to push that back. Problem is there will be Trebs up his rear in just a moment. A second Treb on the way. Backed with a 750-point lead now. M still doing a little bit of, dipping and dodging with these scouts, trying to be annoying, but it looks like he might be in trouble. Just a few scouts left for him, or light cavalry left for him. These halbs in the back are going to put pressure on these villagers. Takes forever to kill a villager with a halb, but they're going to do it eventually. They're also disrupting this wood line. We can see M with 30 idle villagers at the moment. Starting to get a little bit overwhelmed by the pressure of Bact. We see a couple of bombard cannons on the field. Those guys are basically microing each other, because why would bombard cannons ever learn ballistics? Right? That wouldn't make any sense. And we'll see the buildings here on the front of M's base going down. We are seeing M hitting that castle. We're not seeing Bact hitting M's castle. This castle will eventually go down if not repaired, and I don't see villagers around to repair it. There were a bunch of villagers here chopping wood. They've come over to drop another castle. The problem is that they have tried to drop a castle right in front of M's stables, and all of those villagers are probably going to go down. I don't expect this castle to go up. So M actually catching a break, getting a whole bunch of villagers for free and dodging a second castle. Meanwhile, he's going to take this castle down since there's no villagers around to repair it. So, I don't want to take the credit away from M. He's playing very hard and microing and working, but very, very lucky on his part at this point. Denying a castle. Those villagers from Bact were probably a bad choice to leave this castle at that particular moment. Obviously, dropping a castle here wasn't a good idea. I'm sure he didn't know about these stables, but in the end, he's going to send more villagers forward. Bact's going to try to finish this castle. And he'll probably get it up now that he has this many camels defending, obviously with upgrades, and they're going to be fighting potentially light cavalry. On the front, we can see M starting to push out. He's taken down both of those trebs. Those trebs did put pressure on, but they really were not used to their fullest. They didn't defend their own castle, and they're both down. The bombard cannons are also dying, although slowly, to a halb there. This castle has come up. It is again not in range to put pressure on any of the resources M is currently taking, but it's still a good castle on top of the hill, takes away this stone. And we can see M pushing out here with those hand cannons. Hand cannons and halbs for M. He's going to have a few minutes here to get in and try to do some pressuring. Problem is that by the time he gets close, we might see some hand cannons from Bact as well. But at the moment, looking like M can pick a few of these villagers off and do some damage to a couple of these buildings with that bombard cannon. Back at home, M is getting raided by camels. These camels have sort of become useless now that the game has transitioned to halbs and hand cannons. What can you do with useless camels? You can still do some raiding, and they're just sort of running through M's base and annoying him. M right at the moment with 36 idle villagers, so losing some economy, even though these camels looks like they're going to get trapped and all taken down by these halbs. So back to using those last few camels up. The camel and knight stage of the game appears to be over. The stage of the game where it's going to be halbs and ranged units has now begun. We can see that M is going to get this front build forward from Bact for free. The Treb there taking that building down, hand cannons focusing on the archery range here. All of these buildings look like they're going to go down without any defense from Bact. We can see Bact is over here taking wood, going to lose a villager to a wolf by the looks of it. That sucks for him. M is coming forward with a town center to take this gold. Both players making use of outposts to see more of the map. More villagers here from Bact coming forward to get wood. His wood is almost totally chopped out, so that makes sense for him. The problem is that those villagers aren't protected. If M finds them, they're obviously going to be screwed. At the moment, M knows about the outpost there, but that's it. Are we going to see another villager go down to wolves? No, it doesn't look like it. This villager has too much HP. So, villagers fighting wolves. A brief intermission from battle between these two guys. Oh, we did see a villager go down to a wolf. How about that? Oh, love watching that. Bact coming forward here with halbs and hand cannons. And not a whole lot of hand cannons for him at the moment, but M has left this Treb in the middle of no man's land. He's decided to come over and pressure that castle, and he is going to lose that Treb pretty easily. Yeah, back there just wondering why he found a Treb in the middle of nowhere, totally unguarded. A couple of shots in there from the bombard cannon. M's army is going to come back, but he has taken down this castle, and it's starting to look like M could really take this game. A 300-point lead for him, getting Blast Furnace, getting those last couple upgrades, and starting to look like he has the bigger army here. Scarier army, anyway. Bact is obviously not giving up here. He's going to come in with some light cavalry of his own. A couple of halbs there, really going to take that blacksmith down in about 10 minutes of game time at the rate that they're going. Those light cavalry, though, are sneaking forward. Not going to get to that wood line in time to grab any villagers, but they are going to put M at 34 total idle villagers at the moment. We can see a battle going on here in the center. We've got halbs versus halbs with hand cannons supporting. Obviously, those will go down. We're going to see some light cavalry die here as well for Bact. Those light cavalry may be enough to get in there for the moment if it were not for these halbs. Okay, so it looks like Bact has really gone with a lot more cavalry at the moment, whereas M is going straight halbs with hand cannons. We're going to see whose strategy takes over this game. At the moment, those light cavalry seem like they're going down awfully quickly, and the hand cannons here just keep multiplying for M. We have about 1,000-point lead for M at the moment. We're still hearing the last of those halberdiers hitting this blacksmith. They've decided to give up. Seems like a wise choice. Backed with 12 more villagers on the field at the moment, and 4 less idols. So backed with the bigger economy, I'm going to come forward with a TC here on this gold. Hard to believe that this gold is still intact. That castle going down allows M to come forward and grab it. Probably also going to grab this stone. Yep, there's a mining camp from M. So M trying to push his advantage now that he can grab his resources. Interestingly, backed with many more villagers working, and he's not really piling up a whole lot of anything except for wood. Transitioning some villagers to farms, and maybe we're going to start seeing a lot more trash from Bact. Surprised he's not taking this stone at the moment, but we'll see if he gets there eventually. He is going to try to do some raiding on that TC. Not going to get too far with just one scout and a couple of halbs. He is building up this side of M's area. Interestingly, I don't think M knows about this. He has seen those farms. I wonder if he's noticed that. There's a couple of farms down there, and this is turning into a real build-up, and that's where he's going to try to attack M from by the looks of it. Meanwhile, though, M, with having quite a few hand cannons and enough halbs here to distract his opponent, he's going to push in a couple of bombard cannons here as well, and they're going to be able to potentially put some pressure on a couple of these town centers from Bact. Bact still with a 12 villager advantage, so he's going to be gathering resources much more quickly. Interestingly, M is nowhere near pop cap. At this point in the game, I'm surprised that he isn't. He is using his resources very efficiently. Nothing's piling up except for a little bit of wood. If we look at Bact at the moment, he is piling up a little bit more resources, and he's going to start using them over here. I would expect to put some pressure on M. Meanwhile, still back over here, still putting some pressure on with these bombard cannons, taking that siege workshop down. Surprised they didn't focus on this TC. Maybe too many villagers around that can repair it. A couple of hussars coming forward now for Bact. Getting a few hits in on these bombard cannons. This one should have died, but they lost interest at the wrong moment. So that bombard cannon on 2 health will survive for the moment. A little bit of bad micro here from M, getting within range of the town center. But yeah, getting some shots in here and putting some pressure on Bact's eco. Meanwhile, M has realized that Bact is over here, happily taking resources, so he's come over with a few light cavalry to annoy him. Bact defends that well. But still, any harassment is good harassment. We can also see harassment here, a couple of villagers down for Bact. M is now up to 120 villagers, Bact on 123, 124, back to 123 on that death. Doesn't appear that Bact notices this. Oh, now he's noticed. He's put a few villagers in that TC. Those light cavalry might not get any more villagers for the moment. Meanwhile, this TC still under pressure from M. Sort of waiting for his bombard cannons to knock that down. A couple of bombard cannons here in defense. Ooh, actually getting a pretty good shot on those hand cannons just then. Those will come forward to try to do a little damage themselves. And it looks like M is really here on the offensive. We can see battling here with 2 different castles. Looks pretty clear that Bact's castle is going to go up first. M is going to abandon ship. It was a good idea for him to get a castle there because he could have defended this gold and put pressure on Bact's TC. Bact's getting his up first, and there will be a lot of pressure on this TC. I'm not sure if M will be able to take this gold for the rest of the game until he gets that castle down. Meanwhile, back here, we can see M now on 3 bombard cannons. He has taken that TC down. We can see Bact still with a 3 villager advantage, but obviously these farms at the moment are useless. Since there is no TC for the villagers to drop the food at. Bombard cannons fighting bombard cannons at the moment, trying to snipe one another, and looks like we'll see Bact get a few more kills. Light cavalry coming in here from M. Light cavalry also in the back here from M, and this looks like a really good spot to have a few light cavalry. They are going to eventually get cleaned up by these halbs. But there's a lot of villagers here that are just very, very far from a TC. So we'll see those, couple of those villagers go down. Looks like he only got 2, but still seems like a worthwhile venture, maybe to send a few more. M now finding this stone of Bact's. There's about 8 or 10 villagers here. I expect to see 3 or 4 or 5 of them maybe go down. Oh, especially since they're running toward these halbs. So M really getting a lot of pressure onto Bact, putting up a defensive castle here. Looks like these villagers were coming forward to drop a castle. They didn't get it down in time. And it looks like M will be able to defend his own end in a few moments, potentially dropping a treb there if he has enough gold. Meanwhile, if we look at relics, let's see, how many relics are these guys on? M with just 1 relic in that monastery, and we'll find Bact's monastery here in just a moment. I see it here, but I don't see any relics in there. I see a couple of ungrabbed relics here on the map. Maybe just the 1 relic for M. Surprisingly, M did not grab this one in the back of his own base. Has probably not scouted it. There you go. Doesn't know it's there. Meanwhile, we can see M is still keeping the pressure on here, trying to idle and kill as many villagers of Bact's as he can. We can see that Bact now has 35 idle villagers. Even though he has a 2 villager advantage, 35 of them are not doing anything. M coming forward with a pretty brave town center here within the line of sight of both of these buildings of Bact, but he needs this last gold, so he's going to go for it. And there's the GG from Bact. So about an hour-long game. Pretty interesting back and forth. You know, I thought it was M's game to win early on. I thought it was Bact's game to win in the middle. And obviously M was able to get the job done in the end. He had that one moment that was very serendipitous for him. Bact took the 5 or 6 villagers who were on a castle over here away to drop a castle over here. Not only did those villagers die to the scouts of M, but M was able to get the castle down since there were no villagers there to defend it. And I think that was really a big turning point in the game. Nonetheless, nice little Persian war between 2 elite players. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Tyler, and I'll see you next time.